inspiration, education, action. This is the Seeds to Success Show with Ben Godinez on Money 105.5.
Stop Pokemoning, going and driving. I see you guys on the roads. When you put your phone down, I can see you guys and you're getting in accidents trying to catch a Pokemon ball. It doesn't even exist. Welcome to the Seeds to Success Show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez, with Gateway Insurance Group. Take the if out of life and learn to live. Thank you so much for being with us here today, and thank you all for all of your love and support over the last 13 episodes. We are here. We are done with the first season after today, and I thank all of our fans that have followed us from the beginning and that have come along the way.
Special shout out to Heather Tutton.
Oh,
She's one of our biggest fans out there. Happy birthday, girl.
Oh, it's Heather's birthday today?
Well, yes, 25th.
Okay, well, I hope she's going to be on Facebook Live as she normally is. So tune in to Facebook Live on the Seeds to Success page. You can watch us behind the scenes, me and Jen Barna. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you very much,
It is
Ben.
great to see your face again in the studio.
It is great to be here.
Can't wait for some more Jen's Jewels of Wisdom here today. And today we are talking about adversity is necessary. And appropriately so. So many things going on in today's world and so many stories, so many struggles. And in the midst of all that, there's so much success and there's so much prosperity. So we're going to be diving into that today. I'm going to be telling you guys about my story. Who is Ben Godinez? All I've done is bring people on and help them tell their story to inspire you guys. Today, it's my turn to tell my story about where I came from and how I got to where I am today.
We all want to know.
No, it's. I think that I'll be able to relate to everyone in some way or another because I've gone through so much in my short 29 years on this earth.
29, such a baby.
Yeah, and so you guys will see that it's been a long road. But if you're watching this or hearing this in post-production, we want to thank Go View This Home that's come on since the third episode to view to splice all these video angles up in post-production and put them on the Ben Godinez YouTube channel. They do a fantastic job. They specialize in real estate marketing to help sell your home faster and more efficiently and for more money. But obviously they do all types of video production. So we want to thank Go View This Home.
Thank you, Go View.
Absolutely. Awesome. Give them a call, 916-207-2097. 207-2097. All right. So today we are talking about adversity is necessary. What is the number one thing that holds people back from living the life of their dreams? Jen, what do you think it is?
It's fear. Some sort of fear.
Some sort of fear.
Some sort of fear.
Or what holds them back from pursuing greatness, right? They got their steady job, or they maybe they're out of college and
it's their story.
Right.
The story they tell themselves. The story that they've accustomed themselves to. It's the story they've identified themselves in.
Right. This is who I am. This is who I identify as. Yeah, it comes down to fear. It comes down to fear of failure, ridicule, lack of money, whatever it is. Some people, they identify themselves in that struggle, and it's a fear.
Yeah,
it's a fear of something. And I love what Tony Robbins said. I posted a video on the Seeds to Success page earlier today, just a little 2-minute video, and he said, you don't have to get rid of fear. You just have to dance with it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
He's great.
Just dance with fear a little bit.
Yes.
Just, you feel the fear and you do it anyway.
Absolutely.
You're on point, Jen. Ultimately, people distance themselves from those who have achieved high levels of success, and they say, oh, they got a lucky break, or they were born with it. They're more talented than me, or they don't have to, they haven't gone what I've gone through.
More opportunity. They know different people than
Right.
I do. They've had better education. There's so many excuses that they put out there
That's
that
right.
they accept.
Can you, as the listener, can you guys identify with any of those things? Have you said, oh, they got a lucky break, or they were born with it, or, I've been told all the time, oh, well, you're born with the charisma, right? You're born as a salesman, or you're born to be successful. No.
It's developed.
It's developed. It's learned.
Absolutely.
If you would have known me when I was, middle school, high school, I was a goofy, shy kid that I didn't really identify with any one group. I kind of just floated around. I was friends with everybody, but,
You're a friendly guy.
Yeah, but no, I was really insecure. That was the difference between who I was then and who I am now. I was very in my box still. I had my close friends, but I never got outside of that. Okay, here's the thing. I could never go and talk to the pretty girl. And if I did, I would immediately put myself in the friends box. Okay? So, came a long way after high school, but it was developed. It was taught. I started getting into personal development. I was taught by some great leaders. So,
that's early that you did it so young. That's great.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate and blessed to say that I had mentors in my life that I didn't even ask for. But the only thing that's different between you and other people that you strive to be like or you would want to be like is they took action and you didn't. Mm-hmm. Right? Or let's put it in present tense, they're taking action and you are not.
Correct. And a lot of that is awareness. Just knowing that you can take that action, that you can do something about it. A lot of people say, well, it's just the way I am. And that's a cop-out. That's an excuse. That's saying, well, I'm just going to accept what my limited potential is because of what I think is possible, when they don't even know it's possible. And that's what I love teaching people is the possibility of the greatness, the untapped potential that they have inside of them.
That's right.
And most people don't even know. They're not even touching the tip of what they're capable of.
I'm at the top of the iceberg. I was listening to a podcast, Lewis Howes, whom I'm now a big fan of. And speaking of podcasts, shameless plug, the Seeds to Success show will be a podcast moving forward, just to let you know. So stay tuned for that. But as I'm listening to this podcast, he's interviewing his guest. And what they said is what's interesting. The people that you see on the top, they're really the ones that are the most hungry for more information. They want to feed their soul. They're always yearning for more inspiration. They're the ones that learn the most. They're not the ones that have achieved and they're done and they're at a plateau.
And it's not just learning. It's the learning and the application of what they've learned.
That's right.
People can sit, and you can sit in a house and buy all the books in the world and learn all the greatest techniques, but if you don't go out and use it, you don't go out and share it, you don't go out and apply it, it's not going to do you any good.
My buddy Ryan yesterday shared a video with me from Gary Vee, at Gary Vee. Follow him. I highly encourage that. Gary Vee made this whole video of just take action. Stop. Right now, if you've listened to me for a year, or you've listened to this show, or you've listened to this, that, or the other for the last year, and you haven't taken action towards your dream, stop watching me, stop listening to me, and go take action. You don't need any more information in order to take the next step. Once you don't know where to go after that step, then you can feed your brain with more. But it becomes a hobby for people to just take in information and not actually act.
I've been accused. I am guilty of that, and it's stumbling, it's stifling. And you take on so much, you think you need more before you're ready to take that step. And the idea is you have enough and just take the step, and the next step will show up.
Here's the best part about all this, guys. The best part about everything that we're saying right here in this first segment is it's not too late.
Never.
It's never too late. Colonel Sanders was over the age of the average American retiree before he started cooking chicken professionally.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you heard of KFC. So, Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel when he was like 72.
I do believe that there is a chapter in Think and Grow Rich that says that most people don't attain success until they're 40, until after 40, well after 40 years old.
Right.
Because they need the life lessons, they need the knowledge, they have the experience to then not worry about what everybody else is thinking. That's right. If you can learn that younger, even better.
That's right. So you don't have to be a young entrepreneur to pursue your dreams, or leave your mark on this rock. But the key is to act. So you must be consistent with what you're doing and stop binge watching Game of Thrones. Okay? Be as consistent as you are with catching up on your latest show or playing video games. Be as consistent as you are going out for drinks every weekend. Sacrifice more of your free time that you say, I'm too busy to go and do what you want to do. Sacrifice something for a season so that you can move forward towards your goals. And that's what we're going to get into here in the second segment here. So I want you guys to stay with us. I'm going to deliver my story and hopefully inspire at least one of you guys that are listening or watching here on Facebook Live. So follow us on the Seeds to Success page on Facebook. You can watch us or go to Money 1055 mobile app and you can interact with us. Tell me what you guys want to hear. Stay with us on the Seeds to Success show.
Join the journey. This is the Seeds to Success show on Money 1055.
Welcome back to the Seeds to Success show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez with Gateway Insurance Group. Take the if out of life and learn to live. That's right. It is brought to you in part by Gateway Insurance. So you need to give us a call if you have insurance. you need to give us a call for that reason, because we will make sure that we protect your assets and save you money. What a concept. All right, we're talking about adversity is necessary, okay? I was in my Bible study last night, and we've had some really tough things go on of late. Very, very, like, unfathomable tough things that have gone on. And, the question was brought up, is this punishment or is this discipline? And sometimes when we're going through the dark road, we think that it's punishment, right? We feel like we did something bad. What do we do to deserve this?
Right.
And
why me?
Yeah, why me? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That question is necessary to ask. As you're going through it, you usually don't always have a clear head about what is to come after that trial or that tribulation.
It's harder to see what's beyond when you're in the midst of the chaos and in the midst of
That's right.
the problem, the storm.
That's right. So now it's story time. Now I want to tell you my story.
Let's hear it.
Disclaimer, though, this is not a poor me, or this is not meant to, be a look at me story, because I really, honestly, I understand that most people don't care about, hearing somebody else talk about what's gone on in their life. The purpose of this is to relate to it and understand that we all go through it. And that God can do amazing things in the midst of trials and tribulations.
And sharing our stories brings great connection.
It absolutely does. I want you guys to know where I'm coming from, because most people just listen and they go, oh, well, he must have been doing this for his entire life. No, not the case. I got here through all the things that I'm about to tell you. So, there's always a reason for adversities in our lives. And if we look for them, it is discipline that strengthens us. One thing that I want to start this off with to preface it is that all discipline for the moment seems to not be joyful, but sorrowful. Yet to those who have been trained by it, afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. And that's from Hebrews 12:11. So I came from a broken family. My parents were divorced when I was like 5 or so. I was a product of a third marriage, by the way, an accident child. So my mom didn't know that she was going to have me, and I was a product of her honeymoon. So that took them by surprise. So you can imagine the mindset of like, oh, I'm never going to have a kid, to, oh, now I've got to raise this dang thing. No, mother was super loving, super, super awesome. But as they divorced, that created a lot of tension between my mom and my dad. And so it formed who I became in elementary school. And then mom got the boyfriend, and that I hated, just didn't like. And I'm sure a lot of people have had broken families where they didn't like the other spouse. And most people would think, adults would think, oh, he doesn't like them because it's his mom's new man or his dad's new wife, right? And for that reason. No, I just really didn't like the guy. We lived in a pool house for about 2 or 3 years. It was converted to basically a studio apartment, a livable situation. But living in a pool house, going to school is not the coolest thing to bring friends over to. So that was a little unique for us. My mom's boyfriend wanted to fight me just about every day when I came home, like punking me, like get me in like a little headlock and that kind of stuff, right. Until I was 18, and then he finally threw the first punch. But from 5 to 18, every day, imagine what that does to a young child, like right. that thinks that he's the problem and that gets undermined, not fun.
No, doesn't sound fun. Not at all.
So I grew up, and because that led into, kind of poor choices with friends. I started smoking and drinking when I was in 8th grade, going into freshman year of high school.
Lashing out, yeah.
Yeah.
Finding your own independence.
One of those kids, most people don't know that about me, because I had select friends that I did that with. Mm-hmm. And didn't let anybody else know.
Secret life.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. As an 8th grade. Could you fathom like a 13, 14-year-old? Like for me, being the age that I am now, I'm like, you don't even know like anything about the world. How are you going to even make a choice like that? It's going to destroy your future decisions. Yeah. So Jen. So I was that terrible kid, but loved my dad, loved hanging out with him. I started skateboarding, and he did everything for me. I was a big baseball kid. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. Did everything for me, but he was a loving alcoholic. So functional, but still come home almost every day and wasted.
Right.
So that created more lashing out, and that created more tension, of course, especially between him and my mom's boyfriend. Well, unfortunately, when I was 15, our house burned down, and he was caught inside with my dog. So that happened randomly. Got a call at 11 o'clock at night. And
That your father, this was your father.
Yeah, my
Wow.
dad had been caught in the fire, essentially.
I'm so
I was
sorry.
left with just about everything of his assets that I had to, as a 15-year-old, give away to all of his friends and my half siblings, and be heir to everything. And I had to give away 3/4 of what was at that time mine, but I had to give it away because it was of course my siblings. So I had to be the what do you call it, the estate
Executor.
manager or whatever,
Right.
the executor, of his estate.
And how old are you? 15.
15.
Wow, young
So
to take on such responsibility.
yeah, and then be stuck with my mom, who at the time hated her, honestly, and with her boyfriend, wanted to fight me every day. Didn't make things well for me. So of course, what do? Right? Why this happened to me? Poor me. Curse God, which I, by the way, never knew. Never went to church my entire life.
Life sucks.
This is going to be the reason why I don't succeed. Right? That was my reaction at the time. So I continued to smoke weed and drink.
You didn't see a bright future ahead of yourself.
No,
Right.
absolutely not. So my grades were below a 2.0, so I couldn't play football. So it became a crutch. It became, the reason for a short period of time why I was never going to succeed. This is what happened to me. I didn't know anybody else that lost a parent, in high school or anything prior to that.
Right.
So I was the only one. But then I had a bad experience when I was 16, smoking and drinking, that woke me up one day, and my mom gave me the biggest guilt trip of my entire life. And she said, okay, that's fine. You can make these poor choices, and I don't care. You can do whatever you want with your life. If you're going to learn anything, you're going to learn it yourself.
Wow.
So that slapped me in the face of reality. And so I started making better choices. I got a 3.0 the following year and 3.2 the next year, and started getting my grades up. I stopped smoking and drinking. So I got 3 jobs by the time I was 18. I was working full-time. I was working 37 hours a week and going to school full-time at Chabot College. So I made a decision at a young age to just, I don't know why, and it was because of how my mom kind of reacted, but I made a choice, and I said, this is not going to be the reason why I don't succeed. It's going to be the reason why I succeed.
Absolutely.
In spite of all that, it's going to make my story stronger. And I'm going to do this for him. I'm going to do this for my dad.
Your motivation. You found your motivation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So working those 3 jobs, I was going to school for film, hence why I'm now in broadcasting here, because I ran the production studio at Chabot, which was fun. And then I ended up working for Vector Marketing at 19, and that's what drew me into personal development and realizing my full potential. Selling Cutco knives. I did it for the first summer. I was like number 3 in the region. Moved into assistant manager the next summer. Still sold knives. Continued to win awards. And then the third year, I opened up a branch office in Marin County. They all along the way training you how to do this. So I was 21, opened up a branch. This isn't like a turnkey franchise. This is, okay, go find your office. You got to pay for the lease, negotiate the lease, advertise, hire and train receptionists, get phone lines set up, get your internet set up.
It's a lot more than a lot of 21-year-olds out there.
Yeah, well, this was in Lewin College. This was my college because I
Right.
essentially dropped out of college, if you want to call it that. I was going, 2 classes a semester or whatever, and I did it. I was super successful at it. I won awards, and it was great. I made money, but then I realized after that, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't think I want to sell knives for the rest of my life, although it's a great opportunity. I was helping other people live their opportunities and not my own. And then I go from all these awards and accolades to extreme poverty. So about 6 months after I closed my branch to open up a window, I was going to continue to open up another bigger office, spent all my money, all my savings, and lived back with my mom. I go back home. My mom had been unemployed for about 6 years during this time. No electricity, no heat, no warm water,
On her own. Just
no food, no electricity. So all but homeless. Thank God my grandmother was paying for our mortgage. My mom just didn't have a job. And she was making poor life choices at the time with her new boyfriend. And so I adopted that. I came into that and went, oh, wow, this is, I couldn't support her and myself because I wasn't making any money. I was in training for this new branch that I'd potentially open. I remember one month I made $150.
Wow.
Okay. I went from making like, as a 21-year-old, I think my biggest check in a month was like 10 grand or something, great, to now I made $150 in a month. Imagine living already paycheck to paycheck and then having that, right? So that was tough. And I remember I stole a newspaper from the neighbors to make a fire to stay warm. And my buddy Corey comes over to my house. We were going to go skate. And he's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, what is your life? What are you doing with your life? And I was like, I don't know, man. I really don't have like a direction, but I'm sure that something will work out. So he finally approached me and said, dude, why don't you come meet some of my friends? Why don't you come meet some of my friends here at church? Well, he didn't say church, but that's where it was. And I want to introduce you to my new girlfriend. What are you doing on Sunday night? So I said, or Saturday night. And I said, I've got a photo shoot. I was doing photography for fashion shows and whatnot. And so I was like, yeah, fat chance. By the way, it's my birthday on that Saturday. So I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm doing a photo shoot and hanging out with models afterwards. Not going to church on Sunday. Somehow, some way, he convinced me. And I wrote a list.
What a good friend he is.
Right? And I wrote a list of about 50 different questions that I was going to stump the pastor on. I was going to stump him. Be like, you have no idea what I'm going through right now. You have no idea. God does not exist if I'm going through what I'm going through right now. That was my heart. And sure enough, I came prepared with those questions to stump the pastor, and I was the one that was stumped. I had all these logical questions. How do you know the Bible hasn't changed? How do you know that it's legit? How do you know that, it wasn't forged? Or how old are the documents? How can you prove that? And, all these typical secular, things that you think that they haven't thought of that. You think that they haven't researched that. You think that the church doesn't have those answers. So, yeah, and I was stumped. So all my questions were answered. Not to say that I became a believer at the time, but I shut up. And shortly thereafter, my life started to take form in a direction of success. I started praying, and the good things started to happen to me and other people. And I got a job with Liberty Mutual and insurance that paid me a nice salary with benefits and 401k. And I met this very attractive woman who later stole my heart and is now my wife. All these things started happening after I gave my life to God, after all of those things had happened to me. And not to say that it didn't come without struggles, but
would you say that you found somewhat of an inner peace through that, through your belief? Absolutely.
That was the thing that calmed my heart out of all the adversity that I had overcome and gone throughout my life. But some other very difficult things had happened, but I was able to go through them, and not have any wayward thinking of where was I going to go or what's my life purpose or taking my own life in my own hands, because unfortunately that happens. People have no hope, and so they take their life in their hands and they end it. Mm-hmm. And that, of course, had crossed my mind during all these trials. My mom got thrown in Santa Rita because of her poor life choices at the time and people that she was associating with. That was very difficult for me.
I couldn't imagine that.
And having to go there and visit her and support her and still say that I'm her son. Family members passing away prematurely by accidents, and then eventually getting into a fight with my mom's boyfriend. All these things happen. And again, the question that we're raising here is this punishment or is this discipline? Are you looking to grow stronger, or are you looking for a sob story? That's what I had to question in my mind was, is this going to make me stronger, or is this going to be the reason why I won't succeed? And it goes back to when my father passed away, and I made that decision, and I said, you know what, this is going to be the reason I succeed. I'm going to persist through this. And with God as my witness and God by my side, I can get through it. Mm-hmm. I'll leave you with this before we go to commercial break. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. And that's my favorite life verse. That's on my chain that I wear every day around my neck, James 1:2-4. This isn't my story, guys. This is everyone's story. Everyone's got a story.
I think there are a lot of parts to that story that at one point or another, a lot of people can relate to. So thank you very much for sharing that, Ben.
Yeah, most of us come from crazy families, but that's what families are, right? So coming up, don't distance yourself for the dream you. We'll be back here on the Seeds to Success show. Stay with us.
The Seeds to Success show on Money 105.5, the Money 105.5 mobile app, and online at money1055.biz.
Well, welcome back to the Seeds to Success show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez with Gateway Insurance Group. Take the if out of life and learn to live. Seeds to Success is brought to you in part by Go View This Home. You guys have heard me endorse them before, but it's because I actually use them. And if and when I sell my house, I'm definitely going to use them. So give them a call today. You can email Jim at goviewthishome.com. See what they do. Go to their website. If you haven't already, if you're a fan of the show and you haven't seen what they do, even if it's not something that you can use right now for whatever reason, share it and you'll be impressed with what they can do. Goviewthishome.com. Guys, you are no less capable than Abraham Lincoln. Okay? Do you guys know anything about Abraham Lincoln's story? Like Honest Abe, where that came from, or like obviously all of what he achieved in his presidency we know, but like, do you guys know anything about his story? His growing up?
Oh, you know what? You're putting me on the spot.
Most people don't.
Right. I probably would say, yeah, I've heard that before. My son watches those the History Channel constantly, and so he has these stories on different people coming up all the time. But no, why would you enlighten us, please?
Absolutely. We all have unique stories. I just shared my story in the second segment here. Hopefully that was something that you guys can relate to. But the reality is, nobody cares. Nobody cares really why you came from where you are or what. It only matters what you do with that story. Okay, that's my harsh reality. If you have a great story like mine and you do nothing with it, it doesn't matter.
True.
Okay,
Absolutely.
That's my point.
Yes.
It doesn't matter unless you do something with it. So the question is, so what? So let's ask some of the major names in entertainment, politics, business, sports guys and inventors what they had to go through in their life. And so I've highlighted a few people here that I think you guys will draw from their experience. You may not know about them.
This is where reading biographies about people, the famous people, the people you like to watch, the people you admire, read their stories. Yeah. You always find something interesting in the story that you didn't know.
Absolutely. Bob Proctor is a perfect example of that. He always reads the stories of other greats before him.
Yes.
And it's really interesting. So Jim Carrey, and this is just a summation. I just encourage you guys to go and read the whole story on your own. But for time purposes, shorten this up. So Jim Carrey worked as a janitor to support his family at guess what age?
Oh, I think it was really young, right? Wasn't he in high school?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
15 to 17.
They lived in a car for a short time too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And he basically lived out of his car and on the couch at the comedy club that he was practicing at. So he'd drive like a couple hours from his home in, I guess it was Ontario or Toronto or one or the other. And he drove there to do his stand-up comedy because he believed so much in his dream. And, he actually dropped basically out of high school to do this. He finished high school, but he was missing class and everything to pursue his dream and to make money because his father was not providing.
And not only that, but his father was his inspiration. Mm-hmm. He learned to cope through comedy, through the strifes and the hardships that his family went through.
Yeah,
and so his father was actually his biggest fan. Is what I remember reading.
Right. That's right. But yeah, he had to support his family at a very young age, and of course, you know him from all of his movies: Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and the list goes on. And he's an icon now. But he was homeless pursuing his dream.
For many years until he got his first big movie paycheck.
Here's the cool thing about this. So yeah, of course he made millions of dollars from his first couple movies. But here's what he did. Talk about visualization and what Bob Proctor and Jen Barna teaches. He wrote a check to himself in the future. I think it was 5 years or 7 years in the future or something like that. For $1 million, right? $10 million. $10 million. That one day he would cash that. That's how much he was going to be worth to be hired to do a movie. And sure enough, he cashed that check.
Yes, he did.
Isn't that incredible?
Every day, he said he looked at it every day. He thought about it
Had
every
it in his
day.
wallet.
He knew that was going to be his.
That's right.
Yeah.
Incredible. All right, Honest Abe, where did that come from? Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, back to that. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. I got to full circle it. So he received an informal education in woodcutting and crop planting, as was his typical frontier life. So he didn't actually go to what you would call a school in today's terms, or like the old school schoolhouse.
More like a farmer.
Yeah, he was like a wood chopper. That was his education. His financial situation went from bad to worse in his early 20s when he purchased a general store, which later went bankrupt after the death of his business partner. They didn't have a buy-sell agreement, life insurance policy. That sucks. So Lincoln was left with thousands of dollars in debt and the loss of almost all of his assets. His misfortune turned out to be a good thing, though, because it was out of his depression that he began studying law. And then he met his wife, and he didn't start running for president until he was in his late 50s, early 60s, I believe it was. He didn't really get into politics until he was about 60 years old. And then, of course, he changed the world.
Changed the world.
It's never too late. And that's from the Borgen magazine. John Paul DeJoria, who is the co-founder and CEO of Paul Mitchell, if you guys know the hairline, yeah, #1 selling hairline in the country, $4 billion company. His parents divorced when he was 2 years old. He went to work at age 9 to help support his family. At age 9, he had to work to chip in for groceries. It's just ridiculous.
I don't think that's too uncommon, sometimes.
Man, he ended up in foster care nonetheless, and after graduating high school, he served in the U.S. Navy and worked as a janitor. The common theme here with janitors.
Easy work.
DeJoria reached his lowest point when he joined the ranks of the homeless. Amazingly, he overcame these odds and co-founded Paul Mitchell Systems with hairdresser Paul Mitchell in 1980. According to Forbes magazine, his net worth in 2009 stood for $4 billion. Homeless guy, now worth $4 billion. That's courtesy of CNBC. If that doesn't inspire anybody right there, hold on to this one. Jose Altuve. One of my, he is my 10-year-old hero. If I was 10 years old right now, he would have inspired me to pursue Major League Baseball. He's 5'6", and he's a starting second baseman for the Houston Astros. Wow. He's leading the league in average. He's having the best year of his career right now. He's like a 4-time All-Star. He won countless awards. Okay, look him up. He's the shortest baseball player to play in the last 20 years, and he's one of 4 in the history of the game that has been below 5'7".
Wow.
Okay? I'm 5'6".
I know. You're so excited right
so
now.
I'm
so cute.
so fired up. I really wish somebody had told me that it was possible for a 5'6" guy to make the major leagues, not only lead the league. He plays with my buddy Jason Castro on the Astros, and he's an inspiration to everyone on the team. He came from Venezuela, and he lived in his, what is it? It was like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment with 13 of his family members. Okay, and they didn't have enough money for baseball, so they would catch a foul ball from like the local college game, and they'd go play with that one ball for the entire day, and then a few days later they'd lose it. Didn't have much money for gloves or baseballs or anything, and still pursued his dream. His father was there to encourage him, and the quick story is how he made the majors. Is he showed up for a tryouts in Venezuela, and he didn't make the first cut. They said, "Go home. You're not good enough." He was persistent, and he said, "Nope, I'm still showing up the next day." If you guys have ever seen the movie Major League and Wesley Snipes, and he just shows up to practice and he acts like a big shot, and then he just ends up outrunning everybody, and then he finally makes the team, that was like Jose Altuve. He just showed up the second day of practice, and sure enough, they said, "We don't have any real money, more money left in our contract space or in our salary cap. We have $15,000 left over. Would you be willing to take that for an annual salary?" He's like, "Absolutely."
Wow. And
he took it, and now he's an all-star. So what if you don't have an amazing story like these guys?
I don't think you need one.
Yeah.
I think each person's story, in it, you can find amazing things going on happening. Yeah. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a wonderful story. Everybody's got an insightful story that can motivate and inspire others, no matter how doldrum they think their story is or how horrific they think their story is. Everybody's got a great story.
This is exactly what I wanted to say, Jen. Be grateful, be blessed that you're fortunate enough to not have to go through all these struggles, but use it. Use your story. When we come back, we're going to talk about how these stories can propel us into the life of our dreams. So stay with us. If you're not already, get on Facebook Live and watch us behind the scenes here on the Seeds to Success show. Thanks so much, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
You're listening to the Seeds to Success show on Money 105.5 and the Money 105.5 mobile app.
Are you guys liking the Seeds to Success show so far?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are. This is the season finale of the Seeds to Success show. We will be coming back on in season 2 after a short hiatus. We'll be re-airing. If you missed any of these shows throughout season 1, if you came on late in the season, that's okay. We're going to re-air the first half of season 1, same time, same place, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, and we're going to be reposting all the videos online on the Seeds to Success page. So make sure you follow us on social media. And make sure that you go drop by Riscate Cafe, because obviously they keep me buzzed and keep me enthusiastic all show long. But they just told me about this new cool thing that a lot of the local coffee shops here in Sacramento and the Bay Area are adopting, which I think is the coolest thing. They're finally competing with the big guys. So, you know, Starbucks has their little stupid app that you can pre-order and you can pay for your stuff. Okay, it makes it super convenient. Okay. Yeah, well, guess what? Little guys are doing it too. And they're giving you free coffee just for downloading the app.
Wow.
So you can get your first cup free and $10 off once you put money on the card. So the way that it works is you download Cups, C-U-P-S, and you put some money on your account through your debit card, and immediately you'll get your first free coffee at Riscate, and you get $10 off of whatever money that you put on the card. So if that doesn't give you incentive enough to not go to Starbucks and actually go try Riscate and the Seeds to Success blend, I don't know what does.
I don't know. I'm afraid for Lindsay that you might break the bank here with that app.
Yeah, I know. And same with Lindsay. She goes to Starbucks quite often. They know her to drink. But yeah, go try their cold brew. That's what I'm drinking today. For those of you guys who are watching on Facebook Live, their cold brew has about 3 times the caffeine as normal coffee, and it tastes, I think, even better. So you definitely need to get some. It's best price per dollar. Keith from Go View This Home's definitely going to try it out. He's a coffee guy.
Sounds great.
All right, Jen, without further ado, we got Jen's Jewels of Wisdom, as you've all been waiting for.
Wow.
She's the one that delivers every week and pumps everybody up.
We're already here, yeah.
This is what she does on a daily basis.
On a daily
Did you know
basis.
that you can have Jen Barna in your back pocket and you can have this inspiration every day? Yeah, you need to contact her. So anyway, Jen.
Yeah, we'll find out how to talk. Yeah, definitely.
Share with us your message after your long ado, Jen's Jewels in the studio.
Yes, great to be back here. Thank you, guys. It's been great. Ben has a wonderful story, and as he said, it's not about what adversities we've been through. Everybody's got adversities, everybody's got challenges, and it is detrimental to us to try to judge those. What I've been through against what he's been through, against what Keith has been through, or anybody else, right? It's not our story. They haven't walked in our shoes. Nobody has walked in our shoes. So to gauge ourselves and our experiences against someone else, you're doing yourself a disservice. So don't do it. Don't do it. But today, you can be in the middle of the storm, but you don't have to let the storm in you. Now, this is so greatly important. No matter what kind of chaos, no matter what kind of confusion, no matter what challenges that you're going through right now, death in the family and illness, whatever it is, that is all outside of you, right? And what can we control? A lot of people say, I don't feel like I have control of my life. I don't feel like I have control of me. But you know what? You do have control over yourself and how you find that peace, that inner peace we talked about earlier, that inner peace, that whatever it is, whether it is a higher power, whatever it is meditation, God, I don't care what it is out there, but whatever you can find that peace and bring it into yourself in the middle of that storm, go to it, because that's what gets you through it. And we all get through these storms, no matter what, it's our judgment whether we think we did well or we did good or bad through these challenges. But we all get through them. And as what's the famous quote? It's 10% what happens to you, but it's 90% what you do with
exactly.
how you respond to that, right? So find the peace in the middle of the eye of the storm. Keep the peace within you, because you can do it. Another thing is, I was watching Tony Robbins, as I mentioned earlier this morning. I'm Not Your Guru, and I only watched a short part of it, but I agreed with him in this sense. He said, our biggest problem is that we think we shouldn't have problems, right? And it's not true. It's not true. Problems are what make us who we are. And to be grateful, to find thanks in that, or to find blame, whatever way. But if you're going to blame somebody, blame them for the bad stuff, but blame them for the good stuff. You are not going to repeat the perceived mistakes of your parents, right? So you're going to go the opposite way, right? But we have to take it in whole. Those challenges are what have made us, given us the choice the choices that we have before us, you had in a moment a choice to decide with what your mom said to either move forward or agree and just let it suck you down in. Right? And you didn't. We all have that choice. I had that choice. Right. Everybody has a choice. They may not think they do, but they absolutely do. And when you find it, when you make the decision and act on it, take action, right? It all comes full circle, and you can move forward, and you can get out of that situation, and you can create a better life for yourself.
That's right. Beautiful stuff. How do they follow you, Jen?
You can follow me at jenlee.b on Instagram or Jennifer Barna on Facebook.
That's right. And email?
Email is jenbarnasuccess@gmail.com. Jen with one N.
Jen with one N. One more time, because you are for hire.
Yes, I am. jenbarnasuccess@gmail.com is my email. jenlee.b, Instagram, and Jennifer Barna on Facebook.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Need to get on her team because I've gone through her program, and it's absolutely essential for everyone's success. All right, now it's time for your Insurance 101 guys segment. Talking about peace of mind and talking about choices. I do want to share with you something that happened to me recently, and I do want to share some testimonies. First thing is uninsured motorist protection. You absolutely need it, and you absolutely need to have it, and you need to have enough limits. You cannot have more uninsured motorist coverage than liability. Think about that. So uninsured motorist covers you and people in your car. So you can't say, I want $500,000 of coverage, but I only want to insure other people for $1,530, state minimum. You've got to insure other people first. It's a pure giver's gain philosophy. If you want if you want $500,000, you need to give other people $500,000. So when that happens, if you're hit by somebody and they don't have enough insurance or they don't have any at all, which is 1 out of 3 accidents on the road today. There's literally 3 accidents happening every day in Sacramento, like actual collisions with, at least 2 or more vehicles. Wow. 1 in 3 does not have insurance or they don't have enough to cover the damages. That is a staggering result. And guess what? You can't control that. You can't control what other people do with their insurance policy, unfortunately, unless you have them call me and then I'll get them good coverage. But that's not the case. So get enough uninsured motorists, because guess what? You don't want to be that person that underinsures other people as well, right? Because when you don't have enough insurance, then they sue you and garnish your wages and seize your bank accounts and take your assets. So get enough uninsured motorists, because guess what? Sometimes they will pay you for pain and suffering and loss of wages.
Peace of mind, guys. Peace of mind.
And that's exactly my topic right there. Quality and peace of mind. It's funny that every single person that has ever contacted me for insurance, like 99.9% of them have said, I want to save money, obviously. How do I save the money? I'm a broker. I shop the market, and I can compare different companies all at once. That's great. But how do I really save people money? I don't save them. I don't care how much I save them on the front end. I do, and I save them a lot. But that's not my point. My purpose is not to save people money on the front end. My purpose is to save them money on the back end. Because if you don't have enough insurance, you're paying tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars when you're in an accident. Okay? Yeah, I can save to the $500 now, but it's not important if and when you get hit or you're in an accident.
You're talking about health. You're talking about...
And you don't have enough insurance.
Quality of life, guys.
Yeah. I have too many examples of friends in my life, and it is not biased because I'm an insurance broker. I'm just talking about friends of mine that have been hit by somebody, or that have, they dropped their phone or their coffee on their lap and they accidentally hit somebody in their first accident in their whole life, and they don't have enough insurance. Or there are some scenarios where they had great insurance because they're my clients, which has been great. But my purpose is to get people the right coverage, and within that, find them the best deal. So when I see somebody's deck pages and they've got 1530 with, at best $20 a day on rental car and no med pay, I laugh and I say, I don't want to save you money from what you have now. I mean, I do, but I want to add 100, 300 liability and uninsured motorists with $5,000 in med pay and, $40 a day for a rental car. Do you really want a Kia hatchback? You drive a Mercedes. No, you don't. Get the right coverage, and then I will save you money. And that's my purpose. I'm here to protect you guys. I'm not here to just save you a penny, because it really doesn't matter now. It matters later. And especially when, I preface it with uninsured motorists, you can't control that. So give me a call, 510-861-1541. That's 510-861-1541. 1541. I'm passionate about insurance. Go to my website and find out more about me, bengodinez.com. All right, in summation with everything that we've talked about today, we've talked about people's stories, we've talked about what it means and how that propels you. Guys, take trials as discipline. They're not punishment, okay? Especially if you are a child of God, which we all are, it is fatherly discipline. Okay, he may allow things to happen in your life. He doesn't necessarily cause everything that happens in your life. That sometimes is just a product of sin and other people's poor choices. But he may allow it to happen to you because it'll make you stronger. As we've talked about in James 1:2-4, consider it pure joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, because it produces endurance and it makes us stronger. So what is your story?
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
That's right, Jen.
Yeah.
What doesn't kill us makes
Absolutely.
us stronger. If you're still sucking in air, it's because you're here for a reason. Find your purpose. Find the reason. How are you going to impact somebody today? How are you going to make a difference on this earth? I want you guys to think about this on the season finale of Seeds to Success. Stay tuned in. Stay engaged. Seeds to Success on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Seeds to Success. Follow me personally, Ben.Godinez. Ben_Godinez on Snapchat. Have some fun with me. All right? I appreciate every single one of us.
Everyone.
Thank you, Jen, and we will see you here next season. Stay tuned.
Take a toll on your soul, I'm going down. Some way, somehow.